kinda don't know how to start this today. I just docked in this station after a very good attempt at shooting down a bait Dreadnought. I have to admit, things are escalating very quickly here. Back a couple weeks ago, we used to have battleships shooting battleships. Now we have full-on capital ships on capital ships. So things are definitely escalating here.
How are you feeling,
And
pilot?
there is a big chance that we will shoot down a Dreadnought or 2 or 3 in the next couple days. Who knows what will happen, but it's definitely getting interesting over here in Syndicate. And overall, I think we did play this very well today, based on how little time we had to prepare and based on how many members were online at the available moment. And of course, we did have some couple mistakes. For example, we forgot to call in for backup on time. If we called in for backup at the very beginning of the fight, then we would most likely shoot down the Dreadnought. And you might be wondering, why are Dreadnoughts after a small pirate corp? Well, they're not after our battleships, they're after our capital ships. And that's what we have learned. So yeah, they are after our capital ships, and we were very much aware of that little fact. So with that being said, let's start with what happened. So usually I would use my Balgorn for a capital ship because of the webs and Nosferatus and of course the neutralizer, but because this is a bait, I decided to undock the Apocalypse Striker. And of course, this ship has a lot more DPS. We kinda need more DPS if we want to shoot down a Dreadnought. Now, out of all 4 currently available Dreadnoughts, the one that is being used as bait is a Phoenix. And the Phoenix isn't exactly the best Dreadnought to be used against sub-capital ships, because the Phoenix cannot do a lot of damage to battleships, battlecruisers and ships like that, but Phoenix is very good at shooting down other capital ships. So it really cannot be a more obvious bait than that. Now let me quickly unlock my friend over there. Not quite sure why I locked on the crewer. Almost made a big mistake there. Let's not shoot down any friendlies today. Now this Apocalypse Striker is built for sniping. Well, kinda built for oh my god, my throat not working. This Apocalypse Striker is kinda built for sniping, although did not have time to change into tracking computers to improve the range, so I'll just have to stick with what I have on this ship. Now this Phoenix is approaching the gate, and at the same time, from time to time, they also take range from the gate. Before I arrived, they were at around 50 kilometers from the gate, and now they are, well, burning towards the gate. They are not shooting at us, although they have been shooting at some of our ships. However, they did not do any damage to any of us at the moment. This Phoenix is free to jump at practically any time that they want. We all have currently the aggression timer, so none of our ships can jump through the gate. So that means that they're literally free to go and they can escape without a problem. But since they are trying to bait out our revelations, or well, other ships, they are here to stay. Now, based on how much damage we are doing to that Dreadnought, They definitely don't have a good tank, so I would assume that the Phoenix is built to have as much DPS as possible, again against a Dreadnought, and who knows what other Dreadnoughts are on standby. Their Sino pallet is lurking around the gate. So far they're not opening Sino because we haven't undocked any Dreadnought or carrier yet. If we were to launch our own Dreadnoughts, we would get jumped by who knows how many, so we are currently playing it safe based on the intel that we know. There are two possible Sinos in the system. So far, I personally haven't seen any Covertops cruiser carrying a Sino at this moment, but they're there. That Phoenix had to, had to come in here with a Sino. They just popped in out of nowhere, and well, that's 100% through Sino. You might be wondering, where are they based? Well, honestly, I have no idea, but they're definitely close by, and they're definitely here to stay for quite a long time. And I would like to address a big mistake that we did over here. At this moment, we should have called in for more ships, we should have called in for more help. But we kinda did not expect that we would have a good fighting chance against this ship. And we honestly did expect that they will launch their main fleet on our ships. So we are all prepared to quickly warp away when they throw 30 plus ships on our 10 ships, or in this case at our 7 or 8 ships, because we have couple neutrals that are Sino in local. Now, most Dreadnoughts that are being flown around have capacitor batteries. Basically, a Dreadnought's tank is very good, very strong. With capacitor batteries, they can be nearly immortal, especially in siege mode, because they can repair themselves very quickly with the siege mode bonus. I know it's called showdown mode, but I'm just too much used to call it siege mode, so kinda, similar in this game. It's a little bit different, but I use, EVE Online terminology, so yeah, that's just how it goes. The siege mode or showdown mode does improve the DPS, does improve the tank, but it makes the ship unable to warp, and it makes the ship unable to move. Now, this Phoenix doesn't seem like it's using capacitor batteries. They are very easy on the shield, and the capacitor on the Dreadnoughts takes some time to fully recharge. After all, well, I had some experience with that. Let's just keep it at that point so far. And without capacitor batteries, it is kinda risky. Now, in the case for this Phoenix, they really don't need any capacitor batteries to withstand our DPS. They can boost shield when needed. That's kind of obvious. But in the longer run, if for example we play gate games, and if they jump through the gate and they get tackled at the other side of the gate, and we jump and we continue to shoot at the Phoenix, then the capacitor of that ship will slowly go down. And that's one thing that we practically didn't count on. At the moment, we still believe that the Phoenix has capacitor batteries, but in reality, Phoenix doesn't have capacitor batteries. They are built for full-on DPS against another capital ship. What does that mean? Well, it means our Dreadnought would most likely get destroyed very quickly if it were to go and engage the Phoenix. All Dreadnoughts maybe except the Naglfar. That thing is super tanky, and that's the tankiest ship in the game at the moment. So, still shooting at the Phoenix. I'm swapping between the siege mode and normal mode from time to time. I'm very careful around the local. Have to be careful not to forget to look at local in case there's a cloaky warp in. I am always aligned to the station, so I can warp to the station when needed, and also I can warp to the safe spot that I have prepared. And here you can see how the capacitor on the Apocalypse Starker runs with only one capacitor battery. In my case it appears to be stable at 20%, although I think if I were to go full on hot on this ship, my capacitor would definitely suffer. So the capacitor on the Apocalypse Starker not that good with beam lasers, and of course without capacitor batteries. I have one capacitor battery. So far it does get the job done. However, I have to be careful with the siege mode, and I have to use the siege mode only when the capacitor battery is up and running. That way I can save the capacitor for just for a little bit. But so far we're doing some good damage on the Phoenix. Now, fun fact, first when I received intel about this ship, it was reported that it was a carrier. Now, a carrier is not a big problem. We destroyed one and partially participated in destroying a second one. So 2 carriers were not a big problem. Both of them were destroyed very quickly without much of a issue. But a Dreadnought is different. Dreadnoughts can tank, and they also can shoot back quite efficiently. Now, at this moment, the Phoenix pilot is writing some funny stuff in local. For example, they claim that they can't jump through the gate. They claim that they can't escape. However, that's a big lie. Warp scramblers and points don't prevent a capital ship from jumping through the gate. And I find it very funny because 90% of our players in our corporation are very experienced players, and it's not easy to play such games, and not that easy to make us believe such a thing. So yeah, that's kind of funny. Unless the scrambler or point prevents the Dreadnought from jumping through the gate, but that's not the case because, well, let's say I have experience with that, so it works. You cannot prevent any ship from jumping through the gate if you use a scrambler or point on them. Now the Dreadnought is hugging the gate. They are shooting at a couple of our ships. Now at this moment I had to go dock to recharge my capacitor, and then I decided to come back. The Dreadnought should still be lurking on the gate. And, well, we still haven't called in for backup. That's a big mistake that we did. A massive mistake. Okay, have returned to my position. Let's align to the station when ship exits warp. Okay, let's lock on the Dreadnought. Let's approach a little bit. And when I approach, I can rotate the ship and align to the station. Until that happens, I will go and overheat all of my weapons. Well, all of my heat sinks. Or overheating a heat sink. Kinda interesting. Now I will align myself to the station. The Apocalypse Starker is quite slow for some reason. The Battleground actually rotates very quickly. This thing rotates very slowly. Very interesting little difference. Okay, I am now in siege mode, and okay, that's interesting local. Phoenix was in almost low shield, and they're using dual shield boosters. Currently they are outside of the siege mode. You can definitely see a big difference between the siege mode and outside of the siege mode shield boosts. In siege mode the shield boosts very good and it fills up the shield very quickly. Now here is where I noticed that this ship is conserving capacitor. At this moment quite obvious that they have some capacitor issues, so they are going easy on the shield boosters, and I would say they are outside of the siege mode or outside of the showdown mode. Which one you prefer you can use, I guess, but both think about the same thing, so yeah. They're at 45% shield, and looks like they might be burning away from the gate. However, I might be wrong. And also, it would look like they are using a command burst module. Just not sure which one. I would guess they are using something to improve the damage output on the missiles. They are now at around 30%, 35% shield. Still not using the shield boosters. Although I expect them to start using the shield booster at any moment. Local going up a little bit. Still no massive spike. We still haven't undocked any Dreadnought because, well, if we do that, then that Dreadnought will, well, our Dreadnought would most likely get blown up very easily. I got rammed by the other Apocalypse, so I have to exit siege mode and will have to realign myself to the station. I got rammed pretty hard actually. Got thrown off the range there. Okay. Once aligned, I will enter siege mode and will continue shooting at the Dreadnought. They have boosted up their shield, most likely now in siege mode as well. I would say that they're slowly, very slowly going down, because they don't have capacitor batteries. So their capacitor is definitely not going to last infinitely long. And based on that, the bait again cannot be more obvious than this. Like, if it were, let's say, a Naglfar, then yeah, I would say that's definitely not as obvious as a bait as this thing, because they really want to make us safe to use the Dreadnought. But you know, we've been around for a very long time, so yeah, we are not falling for such cheap tricks. Now, if it were like a relation or something, you know, something different, I mean, literally any Dreadnought. You just don't throw a Dreadnought at the gate and just sit there right outside of Pirate Corp's home system. That just, you know, makes no sense, unless it's a bait, of course. So yeah. Alright, well, the Dreadnought did jump through the gate, and this is where things get interesting, because at this moment they did miscalculate our DPS and our determination to shoot a capital, and looks like the other big fleet that's supposed to go and jump our fleet, or should I say jump our Dreadnought, is kinda not available, and this Dreadnought is in a lot of trouble now, because they are being held at both gates now. If they jump in the other system, they get tackled and we jump. If they jump here, well, we also jump through and tackle them, so they really don't have anywhere to go. So that Phoenix's only chance to survive now is for the big fleet to arrive. And at this moment, we did the right call and we accepted help, and help is currently gathering up. So this is from our point a big mistake, because we did not call in for backup on time, and that's going to make that would make a big difference on the outcome of this fight here. Now the Dreadnought is actively shooting, the Dreadnought is trying to scare us off, but that's not working so well. We have couple frigates, we have couple logistic cruisers, and couple interceptors, I believe, and couple battleships that are doing DPS. So we only have to outlast the capacitor of the Dreadnought, and once the capacitor of the Dreadnought is out, then they will not be able to repair the shield, and they are in a lot of trouble. That's when they should be calling in for the big fleet to jump through. So the Phoenix's only chance to survive now is for the big fleet to arrive. Now you will notice me locking on a succubus at one point. That's my mistake. Wasn't informed on time that they are coming to help, so that's my bad. Thankfully no allied ships have been destroyed, and of course the support fleet that is coming was safe and will be safe, of course. However, cannot guarantee the safety of that Dreadnought, because they are the primary target now. And I swapped to pulse lasers. They have a little bit more DPS, however a little bit shorter range, so I have to approach the target a little bit more often, and I will use the station as my align point again. There is a friendly Condor interceptor, 500 kilometers, 100 kilometers away. Let me align station again. Okay. Now you can notice that the shield on the Phoenix is going down a little bit faster. We are waiting for more ships to arrive. 15 in local. The Sino of the other fleet also has jumped through, and they are lurking around the gate. They're waiting for the right moment to drop the capitals on our capitals, but we are not going to use capitals. However, now when I think about it, if we manage to shoot down the Sino on time, then you can actually drop our Dreadnoughts, but they have backup Sinos, so that kinda does not work as I would imagine that it would work. Phoenix is now into 50% shield again. They are very, very careful on the capacitor usage. They wait until low shield and then they boost up the shield to 100%. And the capacitor usage on the capital shield boosters is pretty high. So yeah, they really have to be careful around that capacitor if they want to survive this. There is one Korax trainer that jumped in. Well, they quickly warped out. I would warp out as well. That was a new player, and I guess they were pretty surprised seeing what's going on here. The shield of that ship definitely falling down faster than before. I think most of our ships also swapped builds, and now we are doing a little bit more DPS than usual. The capacitor with the pulse ladders is also stable. The capacitor with the pulse lasers on the Apocalypse Striker is more stable than the capacitor with beam lasers. Beam lasers use a lot of capacitor. Let's approach, and then let's approach station. Once approaching station, I will enter siege mode. I have around 6,500, 7,000 DPS on this ship with this build, so it has good DPS. Most of our ships are built the same way, full DPS, so we have combined around maybe 10 to 15,000 DPS, which is pretty good. Definitely noticeable on the shield of the Phoenix. Okay, well, more hostiles jumping in. That would mean the capacitor of the Phoenix is getting low. That's good news for us. That means the Phoenix is slowly falling down. That's what happens when they don't have capacitor batteries installed on that ship. Honestly, if it were, let's say, a carrier, then we would most likely drop Dreadnoughts on the carrier, and that carrier would most likely go down. But this is, you know, you cannot get a bait more obvious than this, honestly. That was a scout interceptor. They definitely will report our current ships and what's currently happening here. Dreadnought did boost shield up until around 70%, and then they stopped boosting the shield. That tells me the capacitor is definitely getting low, and they are now starting to actively fall down. However, they definitely have a little bit more capacitor left for maybe a couple full boost cycles on the shield. However, we are about to find that out. We also have couple neutralizers and couple Nosferatus on the Dreadnought. I don't think that a large Nosferatu or neutralizer can do much to a capital ship, but still it can, you know, help at least reducing the recharge rate of the capacitor, and I think it actually works. Now the Dreadnought is below 40% shield. You know, it's actually kinda sad that we did not realize how much of a good fighting chance we had against this ship. If we had, you know, enough players online, and only if we just did call backup on time. You will see what I mean. They are boosting shield again. Not quite sure if they are in siege mode. I guess they did enable siege mode for the... Yeah, they're definitely in siege mode now. Shield going up to 100%. Yeah, that was definitely in siege mode. That tells me that they did use the siege mode to boost up the shield with the bonus that you get from using that, and now their capacitor definitely close to dying. We also received reports that the main fleet that's supposed to go after our capital is slowly moving in. So at any moment we will get a serious ping spike here, and that would mean it will be time to warp out very soon. Our allied fleet is also around the corner. However, because of our bad coordination that we had, well, not bad coordination, but the fact that we did not notify them on time, that's what was the real thing here. we did not call in for backup on time, and that kind of sticks with me because this was such a beautiful opportunity to shoot down a Dreadnought, and it was our fault that, well, you will see what happens. Let's just not spoil too much. Okay. The shield of the Dreadnought also starting to go down for a second time, local going up again. However, most that are jumping in are friendlies. So that's one good thing. The other bad thing that's happening is our home system is getting a red spike, and surprisingly, no silo did open, but a big battleship fleet is around the corner with a lot of angry ships. So I just have to be ready for anything. 21 in local. Let's align to the station. More ships, more friendly ships warping in. The Dreadnought boosted up shields again. They are burning to the gate. I think they are within jumping range, so they are safe. The other fleet is slowly gathering around. The other hostile fleet is slowly gathering around the other end of this gate. So my guess is they will try to bait us to jump, and then we would be in big trouble. However, we already know what they're planning, and we're definitely not going to follow the Dreadnought if they decide to jump. Okay. So far everything seems to be under control. Everyone playing as a big team, and I absolutely love that. Excellent teamwork. So far it has been excellent teamwork. Dreadnought boosted up shield again. Have heard a report that the capacitor of the Phoenix is at around 10-15%. That means 1 or 2 shield boost cycles, and then the capacitor is pretty much dead. And my guess is when that happens, the big fleet will jump us, or the Phoenix will just jump through the gate to try and bait our fleet to jump through the gate. They are again under 50% shield. My capacitor pretty stable. I love the capacitor battery on Apocalypse striker ships. They are pretty good. Phoenix is definitely in siege mode. 100% within jumping range. There goes the shield back up. Okay, and it will be time for us to slowly warp out, because they are coming. They are basically 30 plus ships on that very gate. Time for us to get out of here. Now I am approaching the wrong gate for some reason. That was my little mistake. But I will turn away, and well, after making a very close escape, I'm now at the station here in the other system. So I have to say that was a very good attempt at shooting down that Dreadnought. My corp did a big mistake for not calling in for help on time. So I guess we're kind of guilty for not shooting down that Dreadnought because we did make that little oopsie, I guess. But that's fine. It happens. Definitely not the first and last time that they will try to bait our Dreadnoughts. Next time, however, things will be a lot different, and I'm definitely looking forward for the first Dreadnought kill that Mag will do, with of course help with other corps helping. So it will be interesting to see the cooperation and teamwork. I'm all in for the cooperation and teamwork. I made a very close escape actually. As I was warping, they jumped and they bubbled the gate. I was almost bubbled, but thankfully I warped right on time, and
accepted.
our home system has like 30 plus reds inside. I think I already showed you the picture on screen there, so yeah, overall that was fun, and overall very happy to see the teamwork, and very close to shooting down that Dreadnought. But again, we will be a lot more coordinated and I guess a lot more successful next time. With that being said, hope that you enjoyed. That was a little weird little episode today, I know, but was very unique and something that did not happen so far. And I hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.